Hit it, Logan.
Okay.
It's After Hours with Mariah and Ty.
Your weekly download of their extracurricular activities. Enjoy.
This week on After Hours with Mariah and Ty.
Hibiscus and Rosehip sounds like two old ladies fucking.
It's Big Purex holding us down.
If you sit on a warm Canadian toilet, not good. But it has to be in a horror film in a farm in Saskatchewan, which I think is a trap, but we'll find out.
This is huge. We're very excited. Karla Marx, you're not a stranger to our program that airs actually on the radio here on X. But welcome to X After Hours. Karla Marx.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Okay. For those who don't know you, maybe, new audience here at X, you are a stand-up comedian. Mm-hmm. You have made, obviously, massive splash in the drag community within Canada, outside of Canada.
Yeah.
You are a trans activist. You do so much. And I just recently was like ogling over everything that you did at the Skijoring event in Banff this weekend because I'm prepping for this interview. And then Karla Marx is popping up in all my fucking TikToks with this coat that you got made. So yeah, I just feel like you're everywhere and anywhere. But tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're up to right now, I guess.
Sure. Well, you forgot one of my most important things that I do, which is tits. Yeah.
Where's our titty plant?
I also show a lot of boob. Yeah, because I love doing burlesque as well. So
sorry,
it's
we
so
usually
great.
have our boob plant up, but
I love that.
Yeah.
Skijoring is so wild. It is like winter stampede carnival. Just the fashions alone are so wild, and then all the horses just like ripping down Banff Ave was so wild, and there's people doing like invert jumps and big air, and then we're doing it all over again in February in Calgary this time.
Wow.
There's another one called Ski Your Do, which is skijoring plus fondue. And so it's all in your ticket, and you basically come down and you can get all this amazing fondue. There's just like cowboys walking around with molten vats of cheese.
Oh.
And you're just like, I don't know if any of this is sanitary. You don't even care. And you're just dunking and eating cheese. It's great.
That sounds like a dream. I need to go to more of these events now. I'm like, this is what it is. I think you get like so many cool events because people obviously love to have you be there, whether you're like in a working capacity or you're just there pumping it up on social media.
They throw a good party.
Cool. Yeah.
They really do. Like, we had so much fun, and everybody was in such a great mood. And what I love about it is because, like, I'm in Alberta. I've grown up here. I've been here, like, my whole life. I've I've lived other places, but I've always come back here. And it really reminds me of that Albertan spirit that I grew up with, that everybody's welcome. Everybody can just come and have a good time. Everybody's allowed to just be themselves. And, here I am, a trans woman drag queen, and I just hung out with cowboys the whole weekend, and they were so lovely and so supportive and inclusive, and they just want people to have a good time, and they don't care who you are. Slap on a cowboy hat, put on a big fur, and watch some ponies dragging people around the snow. It's really fun.
Yeah, I actually love that. Like, I was gonna say, this is the winter cosplay event of the fucking season. Like, honestly, I'd love to go just selfishly. Like, I've never been, but now I'm like, I gotta go for the outfits and that like inclusivity. Everybody's having drinks. People are just having a good time, which is awesome.
Speaking of good times, how about our good mood drinks?
We should introduce these beers that we have, I guess, or these drinks.
Sparkling hard tea.
What's sparkling about? Is it carbonated?
I think it's carbonated.
Hibiscus and Rosehip.
From Good Mood. They are not a sponsor.
Oh.
Hibiscus and Rosehip sounds like two old ladies fucking.
That should be the new thing on the bottom.
These are like old school lesbians. Fucking. These are like just your two favorite aunts. Oh, this Hibiscus and this Rosehip.
The power gaze.
No sugar added. So.
5% still. That's pretty impressive. We had actually some of this last time, and it was just peach, and now I'm into this a little bit more. But yeah, so okay, we have obviously understood that you have been dialed into a big event that happened last weekend, but tell us a little bit about your stand-up background, because I did a little quick skis Google, and your name and face and full drag popped up on the Great Outdoors Comedy Fest banner, which is very huge.
Congrats.
So
Congrats.
Awesome. We'll be there this summer as well. So tell us what's planned for that.
A couple of years ago, I was really lucky to hook up with them. Shout out to the Chris's. There's Big Chris and Little Chris, and just this like gorgeous team of babes who make this whole show run. And I've done the Calgary show the last 2 years. and they're talking I might go on tour with them this summer, so we'll see. I might go and do a show outside of town. And I'm like, take me to Halifax, and it's gonna be Edmonton. But I'm like, let's go to Halifax, and it's gonna be Edmonton. Yeah. And I'm from Edmonton, which is lovely, but
Oh, we're from Edmonton as well.
Oh, that's so fun.
Dedmonton, yeah.
Do you remember? Okay, I love the name Dedmonton, which everyone thinks is referring to murder, which is not. That's Stabmonton. Dedmonton was called that because in 2001 it was so boring.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a World Track and Field Championship, and a British reporter came over, and he's like, "There's nothing to do in Edmonton," so he called it Dedmonton, and it caused like a civic crisis.
I never knew that was why they called it that.
It's because he called it boring because he came from like Soho in London, which like comparatively.
Okay, like a thriving metropolis. Like,
sure.
Sorry.
You're comparing a world capital to like the last outpost of civilization before the tundra. Like, you know.
That should be their new fucking slogan.
I mean, it kind of is. It's called Gateway to the North.
Yeah. Wow. I've grown up in Edmonton. I didn't even know this shit. So, okay, so you're from Edmonton then, and you
Sherwood
were
Park, main streets.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
It's basically just a mall in suburbs, but yeah.
Yeah.
So you're excited to go back and do some stand-up there?
You know what's funny? I actually do love Edmonton. I'm going back up there later this month to do Night of 1,000 Shares at Dolly's Cocktail Bar.
Our friend,
Dolly's, our friend. We have a friend that dances in Capital City Burlesque, and so she's one of the general managers there at Dolly's.
It's like high school English with her.
Yeah, she's also in the Wet Secrets, if you like that band at all. They're really dope.
I love the Wet Secrets.
Yeah,
so Emma. Shout out Emma.
Yeah, oh my gosh! Yeah, she probably doesn't want to say her last name, but she is a good buddy of ours. But yeah,
I know her because I used to go to Wet Secret concerts because one of the original Wet Secrets people, Donna, we had the same birthday. And we became friends over that because I used to go to their like little shows when they were, in like the marching band outfits and everything. Yeah, that is such a small world.
See what I mean? Like Edmonton.
I did a music video with them, so
look at that. Edmonton's like an odd connection. No, Dolly's is dope.
No, I was a pirate, so I was just.
This is
you
6'5"
pirate?
They just had us in the background, Pirates weren't the main part of it. It was actually vampires.
Who was in that? Who was famous?
Joe Flaherty was in it.
Joe Flaherty was in that. Yeah. So, wow, that's a small connection. Okay, so you're doing stuff at Dolly's, and that's gonna be very cool. Wow. Yeah, Edmonton, I feel like is popping off lately. Like ever since I've only been living here for 3 years, but every time I go back, I'm like, oh, there's a new bar, there's a new club, there's a new like gastropub, there's all these things, right? So.
Well, I think a lot changed after the pandemic. There's a lot of businesses that didn't make it, which is really too bad. It opened up a lot of spaces, and there's people coming at things with new ideas and new shops and all sorts of stuff. Like we were just in Kensington in Hillhurst area, and I lived there for years, and we drove down 10th Street, and I was like, there's a South African bar now. I don't know what that means, but there was just a bar with a lot of South African flags. Like that was the whole branding, and I was like, great, that's great. I don't know what that is, but I gotta find out now.
I feel like that's inspiring. Yeah, there's a lot. So think about how many new people are coming to Alberta, right? Like new cultures, new people, and I think comedy is a great way to welcome people and say, hey, come to the community. Ty is an improv person.
Yeah, but that's like I've done stand up like one time and it's too intense. Improv's the baby version of it. Is what I call it.
Well, improv you get a buddy. You're up there with a team.
I've done some solo improv and it's not very fun. So kudos to you for doing the stand up. Like
I love doing it. I'm recording my second album this weekend. Actually.
Really? Well,
because your
plug the first one.
It came out in 2023, correct? So it's been breathing for a little bit?
In the first one, I did it in the summer of 2023. It was called Well, Okay Then. And it went over really well, and I popped it up on Spotify, and it's on Apple Music, and it's on India's #1 streaming platform, which just was in the package. So that was great. And it went over really well. And it was the fun part about it was like when I put it out there, all my friends would like listen to it, and then the thing I didn't anticipate was they all told me like where they were when they listened to it.
Yeah.
Not just like I liked your album. They're like, I was cleaning my fridge, so I put on your album. I was like running the dog, like all these things, and it was really cool.
People do that with this podcast. They'll tell us like, oh, I listened to it on this road trip. And you're like, oh, great. Glad you had fun.
I think sometimes like podcast or comedy is just a little bit more, I don't know. I find it gives you a second to actually like enjoy. Sometimes I'm just like, well, on SoundCloud mixes or I'm doing whatever. I'm like, hey, I'm tired of music. But what would be something that you would look back on in the earlier parts of your stand-up career, and now that you have obviously become very accomplished in that? Like, how has your style changed? What's changed about your approach? Like, any advice to your former self?
Yeah.
Well, I started because I would always do jokes in between. I started with hosting, so
Yeah.
I would host burlesque and drag shows, and inevitably there will be some moment where the music fucks up. And someone's music is screwed, the DJ looks at you, and it just kind of gives you like a fill time kind of gesture, and you got to go up there and say something. There's only so many times you can promo the next show, and you kind of have to start doing jokes. And then we did a residency in Banff for a couple of years, and you've got to be really funny to get Banffites who are up there partying and, you know, are on substances, and you got to make them listen. So I started doing little, like, 30-second jokes to fill time. And then that's how I stretched that into my first stand-up bits. I was encouraged to do it because we were running a queer comedy night in Pride, and one comedian couldn't make it, and I had 5 minutes to fill, and I was like, okay, well, who am I going to put in there? And my friend Victoria Banner said, why don't you do it? So I took all my hosting bits and just squished them together and went up there, and I was like, this, and it all landed, and so I started stretching those. And then it's about the best advice that I've ever gotten in comedy was an observation is just that. It's not a joke. There's a lot of people will be like, oh, that's funny. And you're like, well, yeah, you just observe something, but you need to make something original on top of that.
Yes.
So the observation is the setup, not the punchline.
See, that's like pretty sound advice. Like, I think a lot of people are naturally like, you know, they can be really funny when they're just in a conversation amongst pals. But I'm like, damn, comes down to the writing, the deliverance. You're right, like the angle of what you're gonna say.
Well,
And the trial and error too of just getting those jokes
you
right.
need something else that is going to, because a lot of people can observe something that's funny and tell you why, but true comedy or the great jokes come when you can make that thing that comes out of your head that tells your perspective and voice. And the trial and error, yeah, I'm sitting right next to it. My wife's right over there, and she's the person that gets to hear all the jokes as they get better and better. First to her, and then she'll hear me like workshop jokes. I love going to a party where there's people I don't know, and I'll just be like,
Ooh, new crowd, new
and
material.
she'll like hear me like trying out a joke, and she's like, all right, I'm gonna go get a drink.
Oh shit!
And I don't
like
blame
I've heard this.
I don't blame her. She's like, I've heard this. It's getting better. It's almost ready.
Oh my god! I feel like we should make mention of your lovely wife. I've been
Yeah.
instructed to just straight up be like, "Bitch, sassy bitch is here," and she's off camera. You can slide into frame if you want.
She's over there running the empire.
I know.
She's working on Cabaret
Okay.
Cabaret Company business.
Yeah, look at that. Oh, this is such a
There's
picture.
the shot.
Yeah, there's the shot.
We do got to flip the cameras, so Sam, go for it, buddy.
After Hours with Mariah and Ty.
You wanna hear like what it's like to have two showgirl divas in
Yes.
one marriage?
Yes.
Okay. You're hearing it. So when I started, we had one makeup mirror, one vanity,
God.
because I was still new, and my lovely, supportive, wonderful wife said, "Hey, you know what? You set up at it. You're new. You're starting to get used to it. Go ahead and use this mirror." I'm like, "Are you sure?" "Oh, sure. I'll set up this mirror over there." I heard about it for 3 years. For
That's going to the grave. That's
years.
what that is.
Oh
You're
no, it's not. I ended the debate because when we moved houses recently, we sold all of the equipment. All of it was gone. We restarted. We have the exact same identical IKEA desk. We have the exact same makeup mirror. Everything is measured so it is perfectly identical. There's no way I have any advantage in the setup. So I ended the debate.
I think that's a very fair. My husband did that for me because he was tired of my shit, and this is a straight dude.
You're using
who,
his vanity?
Yeah, that's right. I was like, Tyler, give me more. No, he has a gamer. He's a big gamer. So
Okay.
we had a setup, and then basically he was like, fuck this, I need more room, and I can't have your area. So he built me like a closet office, a cloffice. Yeah, and he set it up. He's like, there you go. Now we don't have to be because he's a left-handed fucking idiot too. So it's just always in the way of everything. We clash. So now I have cloffice with the IKEA setup, the IKEA mirror.
There you
It's
go.
it's fabulous. But we're
Tell
back.
us about the Cabaret Company.
Yes.
You guys pretty much cover everything. Like,
Yeah.
I believe last time you were here, you were telling me about wrestling, and I was like,
Yes.
what?
So we write, Bitch and I write together a show called Go-Go Battles. Our next one is February 25th at Dickens.
Amazing.
It's called The Dark Side of the Boob. 1979. We're going time traveling back to the 70s.
Oh my God.
And it's going to be really, really fun. So it's a satirical comedy feminist wrestling circuit. This is the start of season 7.
Let's go.
It's been going on for so long. It is our longest running show. It is absolutely insane. If you go down to Dickens, if you look at the beams over the stage, you'll
Yeah.
see like stains on there. Like that's us. We
Wow.
have done the weirdest shit over all inch of that bar.
And what made you want to start doing wrestling in your cabaret company?
It's huge.
Well, it's a really weird story, but there was a bar that no longer exists anymore. It's changed. It's been like 9 different things since we worked there, and they needed entertainment. And so Bitch went over there and kind of was like, what do we want to do here? And kind of like a sports bar theme. Yeah. And so she got the idea. She's like, we'll do long stretches of go-go, because they wanted us like all night. We're like, how do we fill that much time? So we'll do go-go dancing. Mm-hmm. And then she's like, what if we just did like a cat fight at the end? And
Take my money, like.
right? And so we show up, and for the first show, like everyone's thinking it's like a cabaret show, so they're like,
Yes.
they're like sitting down and be like, yes, entertain us. And there's our first dancers just like for like 20 minutes while everyone's like, what are you doing? And we're like, woo!
Holy.
And then at the end, there was a 45-second fight on like the little like puzzle mats that you get for like little kids. On top of those, it was like 45 seconds. We were the commentators. Our friend was like the ref, and these 2 girls just like went at it. And my lovely drag mom, Jamie Simons, drifted out of the crowd. This was like the only time she came for like years. She comes through and she's like, it's the fights. The fights, what you've got. Poof, she's gone. She didn't come back for like 5 seasons.
Oh my God.
And we were like, maybe she's right. And then it just grew and grew and grew. And now our fights are like, we'll do 6 fights. They're like 15 minutes long each. There's like, we got a props department now. We have wardrobe departments. Like there's videos, tech, lights. It's a crazy production, and we only do it once. We don't ever do them again. And it's just, that's it. You come down and you see it, and then it's just lore, and did it even happen?
You gotta like create.
That's
That's like a way to
fantastic.
create demand. I also am blown away with the element of production that has crept in over the 7 seasons. Like what you were describing, I feel like the creativity fuel never ceases. Like you must just have to, both of you, be like, okay, we're planning. This is a plot. We're writing like this. There's a character arc
It must
now.
be so
in this.
fun.
Like
It is. We usually do it when we go hiking with our dogs, and we're like walking around doing laps around Bragg Creek, just talking about like the most insane things. Whereas like, okay, yeah, we'll do the dental denim of the month club, and then that will lead into and like just the craziest things. I can't imagine what it's like when people cross us going the other way. We're like, no, that's too many dildo jokes. Like we already have a dildo fight here. We can't do one here, and it's like we talk about insane things that all these like very boring hiking people who are just
It's
like
granola,
communing with
yeah.
the trees. And then there's us walking by and be like, the iron vulva is a perfect character name.
Oh my God! The marketing though to rip out to Bragg Creek, you get a whole new entity of audience there. I think that's incredible.
But you do so much more than the wrestling. Like you were there for one weekend only for us. You guys, I think, were the highlight of it because it was night 1 and people loved night 1.
Yes.
Night 1, justice for night 1.
It was fabulous. Whoever was hosting did an amazing job. Jokes were flying off the shelf, and then
The performances.
the performers were absolutely fabulous. Like,
Well, that's just the sign of how great Calgary's scene is for cabaret.
Yeah.
Like Calgary's burlesque scene is one of the best in the countries. Our drag scene is easily in the top 3, 4 in the country. It is
Yeah.
so great. There's so many talented people here, and that was kind of the mission that when Bitch created the company, the Cabaret Company, years ago. She's way older than she looks. when she created the company, the original mandate was to create spaces for professional performers to stay and live and work here. Because, you grew up in Edmonton. How many people move off to Vancouver to find themselves?
Yeah.
Like, they're all like, well, I can't be an artist in Edmonton. So they go become a barista in Vancouver.
Oh, fuck, that just hit a nerve for us. That's so funny.
I got a handful of them.
I think you're right. Like, if you wanted to create somewhere that is like a thriving space for that, where
Yeah.
people don't have to use it as just the building ground. Like, this can be like the end game for people, right?
Yeah.
How many years for Cabaret Company?
6?
No, 8. 8.
8.
Wow.
You're 8.
And I think, like, for, let's say people have never been or they don't know the basis of, like, cabaret, what would you describe it as? And I mean, you guys obviously have your own personal twist on cabaret and what you do. Oh, don't worry, you're good. But I mean, like, what would you say for somebody who has, like, no idea, they're going in blind?
Well, cabaret is so wonderful because it's a multidiscipline kind of nightlife entertainment. It's going to have an element of queerness in it, I think, always. It's going to have an element of risque adult entertainment where, you're seeing something provocative, and it's going to be fun, and it's going to just be art, like a wild artistic expression. So there's so many different parts to it. There can be singing, there can be like little theatrical bits, there can be drag, burlesque, live music. There's so many different elements to a cabaret show, which is why our company does like so many things, is because it all follows under this huge umbrella. It's not one specific art form. It's a interdisciplinary, multi-focused kind of world that lets you play in so many different ways, which is why when y'all come along, you're like, we want to throw a party. Like, what can we do? We're like, we can hit you in so many different ways that you kind of walk away with a little bit of everything.
Yes, I think you encompass that perfectly. Like, people's
Very
jaws were on the
multifaceted,
floor.
yeah.
Like, when you take a group of 150 wasted people and then you somehow rope them in like cattle, it was like a corral. Like, people just went to the stage and they're just flocked there, right? Because it's truly a special thing to see. And
People not wanting to leave, waiting for the next performance. to
no,
start.
like, yeah, it was crazy.
There's an honesty to it because you either react with people or you don't.
Yeah.
You can want to do it, you can want it that, but if you don't have that in you, that you get up there and people are just like, what's going on? That magnetism, that, we call it. Do you have it?
The it.
and a lot of cabaret performers are just incredible people. They're insane people. Like, they need to be doing cabaret, because doing anything else, it's not going to work out. You don't want to see these people working at Safeway. It would not be the way to go.
Too bold to be working at the till. That's fair.
Yeah.
Speaking of obviously performing, both of you, I wanted to touch base because sadly that's why we could not see you guys at One Weekend Only. You were both traveling in Japan, and you were leaving like pretty close after when we had you.
A couple days later.
Yeah, come and do the show. So, what was Japan like? What did y'all do there? Culture shock? Like, how was it? What was the performers like there? I'm off. It's my cue.
Japan was so much fun.
Yeah.
And the first and most important thing you have to know about Japan is that you're not ready for how good the toilets are.
Oh, yes.
They're
I've
really
heard
good.
that.
They're better than you think. The first time you sit on one is shocking because it is warm. And, here that's bad. If you sit on a warm Canadian toilet, not good.
It's not good.
Not
Been
good.
used.
But after about 4 or 5 warm Japanese toilets, you're like, no, there's somebody thinking about this. They got a plan here. Like, this is a team vision here. And because, like, it's great. Like, you've got, like, a Star Trek console every time with all the options. Like, there's, like, music that you can play. There's, like, waterfall sounds if you're, like, a loud peer and you don't want anyone to hear you pee. There's, like, you can do that. There's 4 different types of bidet.
Wow.
So you can really set the tone for your experience.
4 different
I
types
never left.
of bidet?
I didn't leave the bathroom, actually. I don't. I just stayed.
I was wondering, I was in Europe in October, and same thing, bidet is the way there. That's the normal culture. I'm like, when are people in Canada gonna get on the bidet train? Like, I
Our
know
producer has one.
Yeah,
Logan's
like,
got
and it's
one.
not, but I mean, like, when
The
are you gonna
gays are
start
on
seeing
it.
it in like new home builds? You know what I mean? Like, it should just be like standard. Like,
Well, they're aftermarket bidets that you can get.
yes, attached to the yeah, exactly right.
Yeah.
Big Purex holding us down.
Yeah, it's big. It's big toilet paper. They got a
That's what
vendetta.
it is. Yeah.
Okay, so besides the bidet and the toilet,
Oh, it was so
how
good.
else was everything?
It was so good. Like,
Yeah.
you know, it's such a beautiful country. The food is absolutely amazing, and it's like a trust-based society. So,
yeah.
like, you know, if you go to an Apple store there, like, none of the products are on like security cords. Like, you can just pick them up because no one really steals. There's just like very little crime, extremely little theft. People there really value helping each other out. Like, we were on a train once and a little kid spilled their bottle of pop or whatever, and it like affected a bunch of passengers. And once everybody realized what was happening, everyone jumped in. Everyone like was like whatever they could do with napkins, and like they all found so much pleasure in helping someone else in need. It was so cool. We went and saw sumo, which was bananas.
That is
so cool.
We saw the Grand Sumo. It was insane. The average match is 6 seconds, and you got to go once a day.
Wow.
They go for 15 days, and you only go once a day. And these guys are up there, and they're like stalking each other out. They're like playing like all these head games and mind games with each other, and then they hit. And like we saw a match that was like 1 second. Like that was the whole dude's day. And it was over in a second. And either like you're like, oh, you slipped, you lost.
These are like treasured athletes. Like
Yeah.
I had a friend who recently went to Japan too, and they said the same thing about what you said about the culture. About like people are very aware of how they're behaving in public, and they're very like. I just think that they're more like.
Something happened on that one.
Yeah. What? Oh, this camera? Oh no!
Yeah, we did it. We do
We
have to flip them.
died. Sam.
Which one was it? Just the little one?
It's this one.
Oh no.
This one here.
Oh, this one?
We do
That's
a
just a wide shot, so that should be okay.
we do a redo.
No, that's okay. I can keep going.
Oh, it's just the wide shot angle. Okay, yeah.
Just
people-
a technical difficulty
we
thing.
don't
We'll
need
put that
us.
in there. It'll be easy.
Yes. So Japan, very cool.
Yeah, there was so they as the bigger like the more senior the guys go, they I mean they're not all huge. Like you'd think that the more senior guys, the better they are, the bigger they are. It's not the case. Most of them are like these are large gentlemen.
Yes.
But there every once in a while will be like some skinny little guy and you're like, he's going to fucking die. And no, because like the giant guys like lunge at him and they would just like jump out of the way and you'd see these huge guys just go flying out the ring and they'd win.
It's a battle of wits almost.
Yeah,
you
like
know?
some of them are big and some of them are just like super fast.
Oh, that's
and some of them are like
incredible.
hitting each other with chests and other guys are just like punching each other in the face.
It's
Like,
just so interesting that it's
crazy.
so big over there, and then like I don't even think you could find a sumo match in North America.
Maybe it's
don't
like
know.
coveted, like you know, like maybe the like preservation of culture, like
Something
they want
like
to keep
that.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
traditions. But then also, like, you ended up in a parade.
Yeah.
What?
I
How did
actually,
you just skirt over that?
I don't know. I accidentally happened like I was going to the bathroom and I came back and I was just like finding my way back to my seats and they were like, no, you have to go this way. And then suddenly I was in a line of sumos and they were just like marching around going to like some place and they're like, keep going. And I was like with them and I don't know why. And then one of them was like, I like your pants. And that's how I was like, thank you. And that's how I like smoke bombed my way out of the line of sumos. I don't know where they were taking me, but yeah.
I would have panicked immediately. Been like, there's too many naked, sweaty, large men around me. I need to get out of
They're
here.
well oiled.
Well oiled.
Well, yes.
I feel
Daniel
like
Smith
I'm-
should look for that if we need to export our oil somewhere. Well oiled.
And now it's time for Mariah and Ty's Game of the Week.
Mariah and Ty's Game of the Week.
Okay, well, Ty, is this a would you rather? Or what
Yeah,
are we-
we'll do a game of Would You Rather.
Okay.
It's super easy, super chill.
Ty always
Fire
comes
it
up
up.
with very stupid questions. Usually. Like we had a very esteemed person on here. Well, not esteemed, but like this is.
Yeah, a very illustrious pastry chef.
It was this
Oh.
person who was extremely well trained, professional, traveled the world for culinary, and
Right.
Ty was like, "You fish fillet, man? I don't know what the fuck
It
you
was,
asked."
would you rather have it like rain filet o fish or something?
That's funny though.
It was good.
We go for lowbrow humor. Here.
That was some highbrow stuff. All right, Karla Marx.
Yes.
Would you rather have Captain Crunch cereal as your only source of food for the rest of your life,
Oh God.
but with every bite accompanied by a loud, exaggerated crunch sound that only you can hear, or have iced tea flow from every tap in your house, but it's always lukewarm and you can never turn it off?
What is that?
That is incredibly specific. Would you rather?
Yeah.
I
You're allowed to debate it aloud in your head.
I
you
don't know if I've actually like had Captain Crunch cereal. So I feel like
What?
yeah. No, I never really got into the cereal
You know,
bandwagon.
It's a sugary cereal. It cuts the
Sugary
roof of your
cereal,
mouth
yeah.
a bit.
Because I couldn't have that when I was a kid. I've now since overdosed on all that
Okay.
shit as an
And
adult.
lukewarm iced tea is never great.
And am I allowed to alter the iced tea, or do I have to drink it lukewarm? Like, can I add? Yeah.
You could add ice, I would suppose.
Oh, they don't take the iced tea.
Yeah.
But it's always running in your taps.
so what,
That
does
could be
this
a
affect
pretty
your
high water bill, yeah.
Like, it doesn't stop running.
Doesn't stop.
Oh.
Do you have to shower in it?
Yes.
Oh,
Then I'm doing the
no.
Captain Crunch.
Wow, all right.
Well,
that
Someone
would
out
just
there
be
is going to be
sticky.
like, I'll take the iced tea.
But I mean,
You know what?
like,
I'll take the iced tea if you do a iced or a sweet tea shower.
It's you.
Well, sure. I mean, we can arrange that. I mean, why
I
not?
would
I
not,
think so.
I would not want to deal with the hair.
No, I think I deal with the Captain Crunch.
I was like, these extensions, they don't need that. They don't need that.
You just like Captain Crunch, so you're good
I
with
would
that.
have no issues. Like, I would become fat, but it's okay. Wow, that was a good solid would you rather. Okay, well, quickly before we go, now that we've concluded with our hard-hitting would you rather, I would also.
It
I
was
would
just
do the
one
crunch.
would you rather. Okay.
Yeah, Ty
It's always a
comes
very
up with that.
specific would you rather.
It's very
I
stupid.
thought
Sometimes the debates go way too long.
I thought
on
we were
them.
doing like a series. So okay, I was like, okay, well, this
Just
is the
that
starter.
was
Would
it.
you
It's
rather?
a one. It's a one.
It's a one and done.
One
One and
off. Would you rather?
Well, I hope I did okay.
Before you go,
Yeah.
quickly, what is coming up for you in 2025? What's some goals? Anything you want to promote?
Yeah,
Touch on?
look at the cameras. It's all yours.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? For me this year, I have two mantras actually.
Ooh.
One is see the light, because I think it's gonna be, there's gonna be some trying times ahead, especially for my community.
Ooh, yeah.
And so I'm determined to not lose myself into despair. I'm determined to see positive things out there, to really, just see the positive moments in life and cherish those. I know I even said cherish outside of a wedding. You never hear cherish outside of a wedding. And the other one for me is this is a year of art. I want to just create things. I want to just do stupid, silly things. I want to say yes to as many projects as possible. I just got asked to be in a horror film in a farm in Saskatchewan, which I think is a trap, but we'll find out. That's how they might get me. I don't know. It's like, is that how I end up in the camps?
Oh
Maybe.
my god. That's so fucked.
yeah, no, I don't know. I'm just saying yes to stuff. I'm doing silly photo shoots and just making
Oh.
projects. I'm putting out the album. I'm doing everything I can to just make as many things in this year and just seize the time I got.
Man, that is incredible. I think it's very special that you have kind of a hand in multiple different avenues of art, like comedy, you're doing drag, you're performing, you're acting, you're like, that's...
Well, we'll see if I'm acting. I don't know.
Well, like, hey, that's somebody gave you a call for a reason, whether it's trap or not. So,
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. I'm like,
Fingers
you'd be too scared to do that.
Me?
Yeah.
Listen, I don't like even opening up my front door for people. I'm like, get the fuck out. I got dogs. Like, I don't need to.
Well, good thing you didn't choose like a very public career.
I know.
Where people would look and watch you all the time.
You know what?
You don't work
you really-
downtown in a window.
It's
at all,
okay.
like a
It's
zoo.
okay. I rock a butterface 90% of the time. People can't recognize me. I got no face on them in my sweatsuit. It's good, but
You should
yeah.
do a face swap one night where like you put Ty into like drag and then you wear a beard and plaid.
I would love
You've done my
that.
makeup
A
before.
little gender bender
Yeah.
changeover for us.
Freaky-
He is no
Freaky
stranger
Friday.
to doing makeup. He's let me do it before, which I enjoy doing. But those are great goals. Better than mine being like, I want to watch more reality.
Trash TV was her goal. Wanted to watch more trash TV.
You know
No.
but I think that's a goal of just like of maybe checking out from how serious
Yes.
things are and just taking time to just like put a pause. Like that's probably somebody who's pretty busy. It's got a lot going on, and you're like, I need to take some time to just like.
Yeah.
You made
Take
it
a-
sound
take a
better
moment.
than I
You
did.
did. Well, I
Yeah.
think in the root of my mind, I was like, I'm a yes person, and I feel like sometimes I just need to sit the fuck down, like just doing too much, and I just want to like rot a little bit, you know.
What's your favorite reality TV right now? We were talking about Traders earlier.
Oh, well, I have actually been watching Traders and Below Deck, and then I'm going on a Gordon Ramsay thing because I think he's sexy as fuck for his age. You know, he's like 65. He just had a new baby this year.
You like
so
the
he's,
chefs.
He's doing it. Yeah,
With,
so that's
with those hips. I couldn't.
I know. I know. So I'm watching a lot of Hell's Kitchen because he yells a lot, and I get joy.
I've been watching Hell's Kitchen, but I've been watching the one where it was all head chefs right now.
Yes, that's what I'm on.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for the finale to come out.
Yeah.
Yes, it's amazing.
Wait, am I accidentally current? I just picked it. It just came randomly on Crave, so I just watched. Is that like the newest one?
Yeah, because
Oh,
they took a
shit.
break for a while, so now it's back out.
It's
Yeah.
got all the good ones. Our cameras are running out of steam.
Oh no!
Sorry, Ty's keeping us on track.
I'm trying
I could
to.
Chat. I could chat forever.
I mean, yeah, it's going great though. This has been lovely. Karla, thank you so much for coming by.
Yes.
TheCabaretCompany.com, correct?
Yes.
Not
Yes.
.ca.com.
.com.
We'll put it in the show notes.
And we have many congrats on your future endeavors, and
Thank
we look
you.
forward to seeing what you,
You
do
were
at Great Outdoors
a great
Comedy
guest,
Fest too.
and we'd love to have
Yes.
you recur and
Yes.
come
Oh, I'll definitely
Yes.
come back. Yeah.
Fabulous. All right, we'll wave bye to one of the cameras.
back. That's the one that's still on.
That's the one that matters.
All right.
We did it.
You've been listening to After Hours with Mariah and Ty. Don't forget to subscribe to this podcast and have the new episode of After Hours with Mariah and Ty downloaded weekly to whatever device you use.